हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानं तिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे हरे कृष्ण. So we will continue our discussion. So I promised I'll take about what exactly affects any person does break four regulative principles. I'll just take for a few minutes the topic because it is very helpful and important. So, what is the science behind? Of course, I will. This is a big setup about dopamine and other things. It's actually at least 2-3 hours of discussion. I will not take more. If somebody is really interested, you can. If you send me in the chat box at least 10 people, then I will completely discuss this. But I'll just tell because this is a very important discussion. We all need to know about dopamine and other things. It will help in personal understanding and how it works and how it is helpful for our uh, protect ourselves. So it's a big discussion. If you hear this part, if you are interested, you can let me know. I will complete everything. So anyway, this dopamine, it has a certain functions. It's actually good. Lord has given this to help us to develop good habits. But what happens is this dopamine, it also can be utilized in a wrong way because everything has two functions. You have a knife you can use for operation, or you can kill a person. Like this dopamine also, Lord gave it a very good purpose, but somehow it is misused. It's a very big understanding. But when you break these four regulative principles, we were discussing yesterday about when this topic about the prostitutes came. So then this question came about why we should not indulge in this. Why these four regulative principles are very important. This is nothing to do with any religious or this thing. It is a scientific understanding. It is we want something scientific. So this is a scientific understanding of how even if somebody says, "Arey, you people, you are following regular principles. This is what is the purpose? It is too sentimental or anything." Then we can give these answers. If somebody has faith in Shastra, Shastra is telling not good, not good, finish. But if somebody really wants scientifically, then this is an answer. And a very elaborate descriptions are there about these things. And this is all scientific research. We can help ourselves to understand very nicely and protect also. We need some logical answers from the Shastras, and Shastra is giving also. And there are two ways in how Shastra tells. They tells through vasanas, and this is about science. So the one will come with gambling. How gambling? So there is some hacking of dopamine. Dopamine is hacked in different ways. Like we get a mission, we hack it so that we can manipulate it or whatever you want to do, exploit. So dopamine also, there is a part in our brain which excites us, which gives some pleasure. Like I'll just tell what is the use of dopamine, then you'll understand. Uh, like say if you are waking up every day at 3 o'clock and you are chanting and completing your chanting by 6 o'clock, like that you did for 6 months, and one day you got up at 8 o'clock, immediately you feel so guilty. Says, why am I waking up at 8 o'clock? I'm supposed to wake up at 3. You, there will be some guilt in us. Anybody has experience of that? Nobody. You don't feel any guilt. Yeah. That guilt, that is because of dopamine. So dopamine helps us to help us to develop good habits. That's why this dopamine is given. But unfortunately, we are very intelligent. We hack this dopamine. How we hack is these are the things. One is by gambling. Uh, so these are the ways of hacking this dopamine. One is about through gambling. And gambling, what happens? It works on unpredictability. So if something is unpredictable, you get so much excited about it. Now a person goes to a casino, he wins, and immediately a certain desire turns him. What is the desire? To repeat this thing and repeat this to some unreasonable way. What happens is, if we defy the laws of nature, to deceive the laws of nature and to get some kind of reward without deserving this reward. So this excites people. Suddenly you got a lottery. Lottery is also like this. This is gambling also. Arre, I just kept 100 rupees and I got 10,000 rupees. So he's so much excited because it is against the laws of nature. So he feels, I am God, I am omnipotent. I do not need anything to receive a reward. I can just snatch it. And this type of mentality is what is hacking of dopamine. And this mentality makes a person addicted to gambling. This is one reason. And people know that at some point they win, the system fires up. Zoom. He gets so excited. And then they lose and lose, and the streets build and desires build, stress builds up and desires builds up. And by all means, as we know, when the reward does not come, then the dopamine system drops to zero. Excitement, no? It goes -0. Then that will be very difficult. I had one of my friend, he was previously working as a security officer at a race course, and he now he doesn't work. He's a nice dude, Previously it used to be there. So he told, so every day morning at least 5-6,000 people come there, like visiting a temple. 5-6,000, and all who auto wala, this wala, that wala, all not very rich people, some poor people, and all of them they have sold their houses. Even the Mangal Sutra of their wife is also sold. Many of them, because they're so addicted, they just keep on putting, thinking that one day they'll be. This is what happens. You will understand the dopamine. Maybe if you are really after hearing this, if you feel you want to know more about dopamine, you let me know. Then some of the classes we will add little without disturbing our syllabus. And if you are ready to do homework, then I'll explain. So this is the first thing. What is the first thing is unpredictability. So dopamine, it gets very excited if there is unpredictability. If you don't know what is going to happen. So this unpredictability excites the people. Movies also, you see something suspense is there, then there is excitement. We will want to know about it. Is the first hacking of dopamine. And second hacking is cruelty. This is about eating non-vegetarian or killing animals. To be cruel or power over others. This also hacks dopamine. So we feel it's absolute power over another person, or dominating. I killed it, I controlled it. This type of mentality is also hacking the dopamine. This dopamine reacts very violently and gets overdose of dopamine. Therefore, all this action, drugs, uh, drugs actually comes in the next part also. But this, when person is eating non-veg, he feels that excitement. That's why they get addicted to non-vegetarian also. Many of them. Yesterday I was sharing some example, like I told the example about match of one of my friend. What happened is there he is a devotee, and one of his same caste girl, she proposed, say, can we get married? Then, but she's not a devotee, so I called and I told that. Then he told me, I said, okay, we'll talk. So I explained everything. Say, we don't watch movies, we don't go for parties, this, that. And then she's okay with everything. He said, okay, if you don't force me if I go for parties, I said, no, you can go. We are very liberal. But you allow us to do what? And then because it is in the caste and some consideration from the parents, I was just, and one thing I told, see, at home, we don't allow cooking because we have a lot. Anything you want to do, you do outside. And I told, if your parents come home, there will be no non-veg. And she got so much offended. She said, you are insulting. I said, no, we respect your parents. They come, they give everything to them, but non-veg, no non-veg. She was so offended. She said, and that's the end. Then they didn't go ahead. Anyway, he's getting some devotee, fortunately. So the point is what? The people get so much offended if they don't. Yeah, being cruel with no. Being cruel with oneself does not come under this. That comes under we should not be cruel to ourselves, but that does not come under dopamine. Cruelty here is to control. With ourselves, it is because of some inferiority complex and some other some insecurities that comes. But here, being cruel is to control others, to have power over others. It gives a kick. Why politicians, they are spending crores and crores of rupees to get that post? Because when they see people under them, it gives such a kick. The dopamine excites. 100 people are waiting for you every day. And you go, you are standing on a stage and 1,000 people are applauding you and they're praising you, and so many cars in front of you, cars behind you. Every day morning the police come and put a salute if you are a cabinet minister. So can you imagine how much power over others, how much kick it gives? That is it. And then there is another thing that dopamine works is novelty. So this is illicit sex and other things. This is actually illicit sex also come under this novelty, excitement, because you are defiling the rules. If somebody does against the rules, dopamine excites and he feels, yes, I did something. And that's why illicit activities, it is exciting more and more. And you want to do more and more, repeat more and more, because it is against the rules. So this is another problem. So defiling, and then there is novelty, new things. And because it is no more new, after some time they get it. Why they get addicted, I'll explain in the next this one. So what happens is, and another the most stupid way is just use some kind of drug. So what happens in this also, the dopamine blows up. If somebody takes drugs, that also excites the person. It gives some sort of excitement directly in the dopamine it affects. And if somebody take alcohol, especially if you see people who are addicted to tea, if they don't get tea, they're getting so much headache. And even somebody is addicted to drugs also. This is a very wrong way. So when a person excites himself, he does not receive any satisfaction. What happens is, he depletes himself, completely exhausts his resources, destroys himself, but cannot stop because he has already fallen into the loop. What happens is, you have to understand whole science of dopamine, but you just understand this one point. If you are really interested, I'll take it. The sensitivity of the system decreases. This is actually what happens. Say you do it again and again and again, then there is no sensitivity. You have to do a very higher level to get that type of pleasure. Why? Because what happens, if you suddenly give an extra blow, then the system, the fuse goes away of dopamine to protect itself. Dopamine want to protect itself. You give something more to it, then the dopamine says, okay, fuse out. And then you cannot get excitement at that level. So then it will blow away. And then person needs to give more dose. Then the sensitivity reduces. Like we may have experience with some food item. Say now first time, like now I'm very hungry. Now gulab jamun comes. So I ate. So when I eat, it actually excites my dopamine. That only I get pleasure with that gulab jamun. But these things, especially food, fruits, why you will not get addicted to fruits. You will not be addicted to milk items, or you will not get addicted to vegetables and all, because they are actually prescribed for us. They will not excite dopamine so much. The dopamine excites, you get some pleasure, but it does not blow it off. You take sugar, you are taking sweet, it also excites. But drugs is like heavy dose, and that excites so much that there the dopamine blows off, and then person needs to give higher level. So now, say if I'm eating gulab jamun, I eat 2, 3, 4. After that, I will not get the same pleasure which I got when I ate the first one, because the sensitivity reduced. I said no more. Then I say, okay, let it be. Tomorrow I'll eat, or after 1 week I'll eat. So in that way, we are protected. We don't get addicted to. Some people are addicted to sweets because it is exciting dopamine, especially chocolates for children. It is actually addiction because it is exciting their dopamine. Not that there is some special. It is actually dopamine that gives. So yeah, habits leads to sanskaras, vasanas, exciting to commit offenses because of their propensities. Yes, this is, we are only going very scientific reasons. Sanskaras, vasanas also has a role to play. this is we are discussing hardware system. Sanskaras, vasanas are software system. Say now I have a laptop, but there should be some software also, na, for it to act, perform in a particular way. So what is this dopamine system is a hardware system. And the sanskaras, vasanas are a software system. Say now if I have Windows or if I have Mac, so your software system is Linux or whatever. So you have software system is what is our sanskaras, vasanas, but this hardware. I have software, but I don't have laptop. It will not work. So you need hardware and software both. That's how it functions. Now I'll explain what is the difference you need to know. Yeah, this is their software, this is hardware. So what we are discussing about is all hardware. I think I told about mind also one time for all of you. Yeah, this is hardware. Dopamine, I told you, dopamine is given to help us develop good habits. See, if you are waking up early morning, if you don't do, then we'll be punished. So then, because we feel that guilty, that is the reason we want to wake up early morning. That good, it helps in making good habits also. You are every day chanting 16 notes. One day you don't chant and see how much dopamine punishes. You are already, it is 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. and you still have your 16 notes remaining. You feel so guilty. Arey, my chanting is remaining. My chanting is so. Yeah, Paramatma is there. He will tell. That is true. Anyway, this is a different topic. So already we are very last time today. I'll just tell this one point. So what happens is after some initial romantic period of flaring with all these dangerous things, a person gets a damage or blunted dopamine system. Ordinary things no longer pleasing. Life turns into some kind of uh, inspired burden, and because nothing gives, that is previous release of dopamine, the system no longer so if he is taking drugs, he will not like sweets anymore. You get some mango juice or anything, no, he says only drugs, like that. No longer responds, the system no longer, they are too low, since its sensitivity has decreased. So mango juice will not give pleasure, you will get alcohol only pleasure, because sensitivity is lost. Only this thing or only something can please a person, which will lead to the same overdose of dopamine, and then person begins to find joy only in this. And this is a problem with addiction. So these four things, which is about unpredictability, cruelty, novelty, these are actually the cause of why we have to follow regulative principle, is because it is directly affecting dopamine and it makes it's damaged. That is the reason we have to follow four regulative principles. So I completed my presentation on dopamine successfully. Not dopamine, actually about this regulative principles. uh, yes, Kalpana.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, pranam. So, Prabhuji, just to sum up, I just need certain clarification. We can understand like this dopamine has been given by Lord Krishna to develop some habits. But if you see in the aspect of modern medicine, these dopamine has been extensively used in many diseases. You might be knowing it anyway. For so many neurological diseases like Parkinsonism, Alzheimer's, so many neurological diseases, uh, keeping in mind that they are treating those diseases. But Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me, Prabhu?
Now I'm able to hear. In what you told in between, I couldn't hear.
Yeah, so these dopamine, keeping in mind giving a pleasurable effect, or which has been used very extensively in allopathic mode of system, and these things are giving, in fact, a lot of damage, right, Prabhuji, for a constant use. I could see many patients on a Parkinsonism, Alzheimer's disease, so many neurological, multiple sclerosis. They are on these dopamines for lifetime. I mean, for lifelong, like 10 years, more than like that, and it actually cut downs and it gives a lot of damage to other things. Is it right, Prabhuji? These things have been misused like that in that way, Prabhuji?
Yeah. In modern medicine, they only, I think
Your voice is not audible. It's very less.
you're able to hear now.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
So hope there are no doctors here in our group. They'll feel offended. Yeah, that is true. Allopathy medicine, they they only know they only know hardware system.
Yeah,
That's
they
why.
just the subtle conscious and they just prescribed randomly left, right, center. I mean, it sometimes pains Prabhuji when our close relatives and close friend circle or maybe in devotee circle, when they fall victim to all these allopathic medications, I personally feel very bad because on a long term, it really damages when little children have been given continuous medications. Could be a simple antibiotics or something like that. But it's a very, eye-opening all these facts. I was just working on subtle conscious with how homeopathy and other systems works to put a presentation for some blogs. So I was just thinking these aspects, how dopamine, all these hormone systems, how it get flared up, which is really actually not very well um, any taught in the colleges. When I've heard one of my pediatric doctors saying that they no more teach much about vaccines and all. They
Oh,
just tell the effect and everything. It is like blind rule. They just tell. It's not been much proved also. Even the cardiologists say they do the bypass and everything, but hardly they can prove whether the collateral system is developed because the bypass what they did or it naturally developed. I mean,
hmm.
बहुत इसका proof है ही नहीं है and people are, I don't know on what basis they have been carried out, leaving all the subtle consciousness, just they are treating the gross element and very badly they give up their life.
Yeah,
Sometimes I cannot imagine. I literally think even to take a paracetamol 100 times to give my children, whether to give or let me wait till the fever goes down. Let me try with homeopathy or just home remedies. It gives, I personally been a victimized for my first son. How badly it was treated when he was very small, and I really do not want to repeat for the second child. And this is what I just wanted to share this, Prabhuji, because how these medicines have been God has created for some reason and for a good purpose, and how this has been misused, and how the jivas, being the superior prakriti, exploits the inferior prakriti.
yeah.
The whole
Actually,
system.
the system is how the disease starts from the mind. So homeopathy or Ayurveda, they start working on the mind. So unless you work on that subtle level, all these gross things, allopathy works on a gross level. They don't work on a subtle level. They directly treat the symptom. The symptom is there, but they don't try to understand because allopathy works. Sorry, Ayurveda works when a person understands I'm not the body spirits, and homeopathy is directly treating the mind because they understand the cause of problem is in the mind. From mind it comes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So
We have been taught actually, we have our philosophies basically organon and medicine. They teach about vital force and everything.
yeah,
When science, I'll say those were allopathic doctors who have come to homeopathic field. It is in abroad. How is it, Prabhuji? When we learned, it was like when our contemporaries, like they were allopathic doctors and then they were given a permission to learn homeopathy. Here it is like in India, it is supposed to be a very cheaper science where people do not have higher marks and they go to homeopathy. It's not like that actually. It's a very deep science and I was just thinking, I do not blame the allopathic system, but the system is limited actually. It is
yeah,
up to the diagnosis of a case and a surgical indication. But people fall victimized for any sort of light. So छोटा सा सर्दी जुकाम के लिए भी they go and take the shelter of those medicines, and pathetically those children turn violent later on. Their mind and they become rebellious because of constant use of such things, dissatisfied, deprived of their parental affection. So many conscience is affected. People do not have any knowledge. They just see the gross things or the reports negative आ गया बस खत्म.
yeah. Monica Mata is telling because they want quick solutions. That's why they go for these things. Because in Ayurveda, previously, I'll just share one thing. Previously, Ayurvedic doctors they used to go to village and they used to visit different houses, and they get payment. When they get payment, everybody in the house is healthy. They have to pay to the Ayurvedic doctor, to the doctor. And if somebody is sick, then he will not get any payment. He has to cure him. So the motivation is always keep everybody healthy. So there are four levels in all the Vedic science is of four levels. I'll just share this one point and we'll go for the purpose.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
the education is of 4 levels. So I'll mute you, Mataji, just because there is some disturbance coming. So 4 levels. So what happens is, I'll just tell with Ayurveda. All other sciences are like that. Vedic sciences, very simple. First is, say you go to a doctor, he will cure you. So he will give a medicine for it. That is only first level. Second level is, he will give a he will give the prescriptions how to live so that you don't get this disease. So he will tell these are the rules you have to follow so that you will not get this disease. And third level is, he will give a lifestyle you have to follow in such a way that you don't get diseased anytime. So this is the third level. So first is to cure the disease. Second is you have to give some patya. Means these are the rules. Don't take this, so that you will not get further disease in this category. And the third level is overall lifestyle, so that in future also you will not get any type of disease. So this is the third. And fourth level is, you are told actually you are not the body, spirit, soul, the spiritual knowledge. So if you go to any of the science of Vedic, so ultimately they come to the same point that you are not the body, spirit, soul. So they culminate in one point and it becomes very easy because you get always the overall picture. It becomes easy to follow. But if you go to allopathy, they dissect. So if you are specialist, you will be specialist in the eye, right eye, but not even left eye. Your specialization more and more and more in a micro level. You become specialization, but overall picture you don't understand. But whereas in Vedic science, you get an overall picture first, and then you try to understand it. So this is a great difference. So in previously the payment is like, if you are sick, you don't pay him. So everybody, all the doctors make sure that the patient, all the people are healthy. Now it is opposite. More a person becomes sick, then more medicines are prescribed because economy should be stable. People purchase more, then economy is also stable. So that's how the purpose is. Of course, not all the time, but some are sincere doctors. I am not denying that, but the system is made like that. And how this allopathy came, it is from America only. Many of the problems are from America. Hope no Americans are there. So what happened is, they started making using of chemicals to treat. Previously in Europe also it was all Ayurveda in one way, because they were also using natural herbs. American people started with this type of using chemicals to cure, and they saw it is more liable and it is more cheap and you can make more money out of it. So then they started systematically destroying the use of herbs and all and promoting this allopathy. So it was not actually any part of the world. It is started from America only, this using of chemicals as medicines. It was not any of the cultures in the world. Anyway, so that is not our discussion, but still I am giving some general knowledge for all of you. So we'll come back to Bhagavatam. I think we have few shlokas we'll cover for today. Maybe if somebody is interested, if 10 people are interested, I'll definitely take dopamine. So you put in the chat box if you are saying yes. If I count 10 S's, then I will definitely take this dopamine topic more elaborately. So I got only 2 till now. If I get more, because I should uh, know that you are all hearing. Otherwise, I'll just go with, okay, 3, 4. Okay, I'll count later on. We'll see. If 10 devotees are interested in knowing more detail about dopamine and how we are programmed by dopamine, there are 2 levels. This is a very science only. It is not even our shastra, and our shastra also we can know. Okay. So I will just read the shloka. Natanartaka Gandharva Suta Magada Vandinaha Gayanti Chottama Shloka Charitani Adbhutani Cha. So here, so okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then I will take. So, yes, Mataji. You had any question, Mataji? Okay. So Natanartaka Gandharvai Suta Magada Vandinaha Gayanti Chottama Shloka Charitani Adbhutani Cha. Swarnamai Mataji, you had some question? Your hand is raised. So. Expert dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, genealogists, and learned speakers all gave their respective contribution, being inspired by the superhuman pastimes of the Lord. Thus they proceeded on and on. Purport. It appeared, I will take now, this is today's Thursday, tomorrow is last. So I will take next week. I will try to, you have to promise for doing homework. Then I will take, this is a very important topic. You will also, it will help all of you if we go through this topic. So I will share some important knowledge about it. Maybe Monday I will do it because tomorrow is one whole week. I think it will take little will cover and complete it. So it appears that 5,000 years ago, the society also needed the service of dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, journalists, public speakers, etc. Dancers, singers, and dramatic artists mostly hailed from Shudra community. This is very important. Whereas the learned historian, journalists, and public speakers hailed from Brahman community. So now previously the dancer, dramatist, all are Shudra community. If somebody is giving entertainment, even actually, I think Socrates or some way philosopher in the West is very famous. I forgot his name. He says, all these people who are giving entertainment, keep them out of the society, keep them very far from the society, because they will distract you from the purpose of life. This is actually what is happening. All this entertainment, if you open YouTube, this is full of entertainment. This entertainment are dancers, singers, dramatists. All these people are Shudras actually. The previously Shudras were not given so much value. Brahmanas used to sit along with the king and some very rich Vaishyas, Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. They used to have stadiums or some sabhas where these dancers or artists they used to come perform some drama, go away. They used to give them some bent and then they used to send. They are not given much value. Value in the sense they are paid for it. But nowadays they are the top and everybody is worshipping them because Kali Yuga everything is topsy-turvy. Yes, to a Shudra community. Entertainment is actually very dangerous because it is not purpose of life. We need to have entertainment, but very little. If you have that is only purpose of life, and that is actually what is happening from the where the child is drinking milk and she's in the lap of mother and she has a mobile. And I have seen in the train also the small kid, she cannot even maybe 1 year she knows how to how to scroll also. I don't know how much. So very unfortunate. They uh, yeah, they know how to scroll and they're from that time only they're addicted to entertainment and then only they drink milk or something. So and all small children. No, this is problem. Whereas the learned historians, all of them belong to a particular caste and they become so trained in their respective families. Such dramatic dancers, singers, historian, genealogist, and public speaker who dwell on the subject of the Lord's superhuman activities in different ages and millenniums and not an ordinary events, nor were they in chronological order. This is also very important. All the Puranas and historical facts described only in relation to with the Supreme Lord in different ages and times, as well as on different planets also. Therefore, we do not find any chronological order. The modern historians therefore cannot catch up the link, and thus they authoritatively remark the Puranas are all imaginary stories only. So I was telling previously also, Indians were not interested in history. They are interested in the events because that events will help you to learn some lessons. Now people write everything. They write like in the West, they used to write some kings. They used to write every history, what he liked, what he ate, what he dressed, which is of no value anything. It's all waste of colossal waste of time. And they do research on that some particular king, this George 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't have names also, and they write, and then not only writing, then uh, they also do research and get PhD also. This is the problem with people. So anyway, so Indians are not interested in history. That's why nowadays people want to make histories, write histories, and tell that Indian history this that. But this is all bogus. Anyway, that is people will get offended if say all these things, all this Hindu. They say for India, events are important. Even 100 years ago in India, all dramatic performances were centered around the superhuman activities of Supreme Lord. The common people would be verily entertained by the performance of dramas, and yatra parties played wonderfully on the superhuman activities of the Lord, and thus even the uh, illiterate agriculturist would be a participant in the knowledge of Vedic literature despite a considerable lack of academic qualification. Therefore, expert players in drama, dancers, singers, speakers, etc., required for the spiritual enlightenment of common man. The genealogist would give account completely of the descendants of a particular family. Even at the present moment, the guides in the pilgrimage sites of India submit a complete account of genealogical table before a newcomer. This wonderful act sometimes attract more customers to receive such important information. So this is another important thing, that previously no need to study any Vedas. If somebody did not learn much, no problem. Because in the village, they'll have nice performances, nice katha, telling all the pastimes. I learned my Ramayana Mahabharata before I even reading also. We had above us, above our house, there was one grandmother. She told all Mahabharata, and that is the Mahabharata I still remember. After coming to ISKCON, I read Mahabharata. But before that, I know all Mahabharata. She used to every night call us. We used to sit along with her grandchildren and we learned everything. So it was so easy to learn. And still we remember every detail of Mahabharata. Now also whatever she told. So that's how the system was. It was very easy. And everybody knows in the village. Now also many people in the villages, because they know so many. Of course, now people, they, after the mobile came, everything is lost. So then they say, Lord Krishna, the personality of God, approached them and offered due honor and respect to each and every one of the friends, relatives, citizens, and all others who came to receive and welcome him. The Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is neither impersonal nor an inert object unable to reciprocate the feelings of his devotees. Here, the word yata, yata vidha, yata vidhi, or just as it behooves, is significant. He reciprocates just as it behooves with these different types of admirers and devotees. Of course, the pure devotees are one type only, because they have no other object for service but the Lord. And therefore, the Lord also reciprocates with such pure devotees just as it behooves. Namely, he is always attentive to all the matters of his pure devotees. There are others who designate him as impersonal, and so the Lord also does not take any personal interest. To satisfy everyone in terms of development of spiritual consciousness, and a sample of such reciprocation is exhibited here. It's different. Welcome. So I want you to do homework so that I'll complete my syllabus. Hopefully, because next week we have to complete. Maybe next week there are only 10 more verses. So this chapter is how much? We are in 22. This is 39. So not many. So if you are promising for doing homeworks, then it will be easy for us. We'll just take one more shloka and then we will end for today. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head and exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurance and awarding benediction even to the lowest in rank. So recently when Mataji, she made a video criticizing our our videos. So she told how you criticize Ram, how you criticize Mayavadis and all. So I'm going to make a video. She's criticizing ISKCON actually. So it is in Telugu. Maybe not everybody can understand. But I was thinking of making a video. I will tell what is the argument she made, because it will help you also in some time. To receive, maybe tomorrow I'll tell that argument. To receive the Lord Sri Krishna, there are all grades of population. beginning from Vasudev, Ugrasen, and Gargumuni, the father, grandfather, and teacher, down to the prostitutes and chandalas who are accustomed to eat dogs. And every one of them was properly greeted by the Lord in terms of rank and position. A pure living entities, all are the separated part and parcel of Lord, and thus no one is alien by his eternal relation. Such pure living entities are guarded differently in terms of commitment, sorry, guarded differently in terms of contamination of modes of mental nature. But the Lord is equally affectionate to all his part and parcels despite material gradations. He descends only to recall these materialistic living beings back to his kingdom. An intelligent person take advantage of this facility offered by the personality of Godhead to all living beings. No one is rejected by the Lord from the kingdom of God. It remains with the living beings to accept this or not. So Amoglila Pro's one lecture is there. He is condemning Mayavadi, Chayavadi, Kayavadi. He does in his own style. So that Madhej took that video and she was very heavy on Amoglila Pro. And one devotee, Sri Chaitanya Chanpu, he told how Lord Ram is very cruel, how Krishna is so sweet. And she took that video and she started condemning that. So then I thought she made in Telugu and she was so heavy. I thought we should answer that question. So I thought today I'll make, tomorrow I'll share with you what she told and what is our answers for it. Okay, thank you all very much. Maybe Monday we will. Yeah, there are prostitutes and chandalas in Dwaraka also. Because this because they are all different modes of material nature. This is very important for us to understand. See, all the time, all the people exist because the modes of material nature are all the time. So, uh, like you should not think that there are no this type of what do you call, uh, say Muslims, Christians, or Jewish, or these people. There are all the time all the people, but different names. But these modes are always there only. So if you are seeing some people who are very cutter and they want to destroy something, that type of people are always there. Only the number reduces based on the modes of intervention. Yes, Kalpana.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can we understand like this? Until unless this matter exists in this material world, all these different variety of people with the different modes, everything will exist.
Yes,
Till
yes.
until to that pure world of spiritual world, there it is all pure. There is no more matter. So there is only pure devotees, right, Prabhuji, in Golok Vrindavan. They do not have a variety of people like this. Right, Prabhuji? All are serving Krishna only, they are pure devotees.
There are no prostitutes in spiritual world, but only thing is variety is there also. But the variety is pure. So there will be cow also, there will be dog also, there will be peacock also. Variety is there also, but all in a pure state. When it comes to material world, it turns into impure state.
Perverted state.
Hmm.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all very much. So we will Monday I will take on that because I have to prepare. It will take time for me. Otherwise, I will. Mm, it is actual material is big. I have to make it short so that it will be easy for you to understand. And yeah, so I'll get 3 more days time. Hopefully, so I have Shyamukund is asking, Bhagavad Gita, when Lord says, Striya, women, Shudras, anyone can take shelter of me. So their woman means this which is described. No, woman means all. For us, Kali Yuga, we are also of same category only. Striya, Vaishya, Sata, Shudra. Basically, here that means that who are interested in enjoying the matter. So previously that was what is no, woman in the sense means who are attached, and Kali Yuga we also come under that category only. So previously there is to be some distinction, but there is no much in Kali Yuga. Woman, man, all are in same category only. Yeah. Thank you all very much.